Hello and welcome to our Outside Canada Study Permit application tutorial session today. My name is Miwako and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and I work as an international student advisor immigration specialist at Simon Fraser University. I'll be your presenter today and it's my great pleasure to introduce my colleague G, who's a regulated international student immigration advisor and an international student advisor immigration specialist at SFU. G will be moderating our Q&A session today. I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate you on your admission to Simon Fraser University. SFU is home to approximately 8,500 international students from 133 countries, and you're now part of this diverse and dynamic community. We're all excited to welcome you to campus in summer and fall 2025. Given the current context here in Canada, it's more than ever important to acknowledge the land that we're on. As visitors on this land, we have the important responsibility to acknowledge the unceded grounds on which we're all privileged to gather in the pursuit of higher education. I would like to begin by respectively acknowledging the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Katsi, Coquitlam, Kikiti, Kwantlen, Semiahmoo, and Tsawwassen peoples on whose traditional territories our 3 SFU campuses reside. Moving on to our agenda and format today, I'll provide a brief introduction to the International Service for Students Office and how to contact an international student advisor. We'll then move on to address how to start your study permit application and ensure completeness of your application form. At the end, we'll proceed and take questions from you and answer as many questions as we can. As a reminder, when registering for today's session, we encourage students to review some resources in advance. The tasks included reviewing the web pages from SFU and RSCC regarding the study permit application process and documents required for the application. It's our hope that by completing those tasks in advance, we can use our time today to focus on completing the study permit application form with you and answer some frequently asked questions. Shortly after our session today, we'll be uploading the recording and a copy of our PowerPoint presentation slides to our event page. As international student advisors, we're part of the International Service for Students, or often referred as the ISS office at SFU. At ISS, we offer non-academic advising and services to help support students from international pathways. You can see a list of what we offer on this slide. Our team of immigration specialists are licensed to provide advice on your study permit, visa, post-graduation work permit, on and off-campus work regulations, and more. In addition, our team offers advice on medical insurance in Canada, like BCP&P. You can connect with an international student advisor in many ways. We offer in-person and virtual advising, which includes email, drop-in, and booked appointments, which we conduct via Zoom or in person, depending on your preference and comfort level. We also recommend students to consult our website, which houses a library of immigration and medical insurance instruction guides, and that we have cultivated with our students in mind. Now, as we move on into the study permit applications tutorial, I'd like to draw your attention to the disclaimer on the bottom of each slide. Immigration policy continues to change rapidly and without notice. The information that we share today is current as of today, which for those who are watching the recording is March 28, 2025. Today, we'll be covering 5 key topics, which you can see on the slides. How to create an IRCC secure account to start your study permit application process. answering the online questionnaire, and generating a document checklist specific to you, filling out the IMM 1294 form, ensuring the completeness of the application. Things to keep in mind after you submit your study permit application. Lastly, a Q&A period to answer all your questions. So let's dive more into each of these. As of March 25, 2025, applicants coming to Canada to study must apply for a study permit using the IRC Secure account. This account could be used for your initial study permit application from outside Canada, spousal open work permit, co-op work permit, study permit extension inside Canada, post-graduation work permit, and many more. You can use this account to manage all your immigration applications, check the application status, and upload requested documents online. Please note that the RCC portal is no longer used for study permit applications. The first step is to create your GC key. GC key is a unique electronic credentials issued by the Government of Canada. GC key enables secure communication and access to Government of Canada online services. You must accept terms and conditions, create username and password, recovery questions, create answers and hints, and provide your email address. Once you create your GC key, you can now sign into your IRCC account. Once you sign into your IRCC account, you can start your application by clicking Apply to Come to Canada. Then it would prompt you to enter a personal reference code, or if you do not have one, you may click Visitor, Visa, Study or Work Permit button. The question will help IRCC determine your eligibility to apply for a study permit and generate a document checklist specific to you based on your answers. I'll cover some of the frequently asked questions from our students, which I hope you find helpful. After you enter your personal information and your reason to come to Canada, you'll be asked if you have a provincial attestation letter, often referred as PAL, or if you meet a PAL exception. A PAL is a document issued by the BC government to designated learning institutes such as SFU, indicating that the student has been accepted at SFU within the limits of its allocation. PAL ensures that the number of international students issued study permits aligns with the federal government's cap on the study permits in each province. For most degree-seeking students coming to SFU from outside Canada, PAL is usually required. However, there are some exceptions for students coming to SFU as an exchange student, scholarship recipients from Global Affairs Canada, or those who fall under the temporary public policies. You must select your answer based on your situation, and you'll be prompted to provide either PAL or PAL exception. For those that meet the PAL exception, please ensure you provide all supporting documents along with a letter of explanation on how you meet the exception. Is work an essential part of your studies? As an international student in Canada, you must have proper work authorization to work in Canada. The co-op work permit is required for students to pursue paid or unpaid work as part of their SFU program. To qualify to apply for a co-op work permit, the work placement must be an integral component of your SFU program. If your letter of acceptance indicates yes in the work section, you may apply for a co-op work permit with your initial study permit application from outside Canada. If this is the case for you, please answer yes. If co-op is not included in your program, or your letter of acceptance indicates no in the work section, you may apply for a co-op work permit inside Canada once you're accepted into a co-op program. If this applies to you, please answer no. Have you had a medical exam? If you lived in a designated country or territory for more than 6 months in the 12th month immediately before you apply, you're required to undergo medical examination as part of your study permit application. In addition, if you like to work in jobs in which public health must be protected, you need a medical examination. You have the option to get an upfront medical exam before you submit your study permit application and include the e-medical report in your application. We highly recommend you to do this as it will save you time. Alternatively, you may apply for a study permit and wait for the immigration officer to send you a medical exam request. You must provide the e-medical report within 30 days of the request. It's important to note that this may delay the process of your application. So once again, we recommend you to do an upfront medical exam when possible. Once you complete the questions, you'll have the opportunity to review it and confirm you've answered everything correctly. If you need to make any correction, you can click the button highlighted in the slide and update the information at any time. When you've completed the questionnaire, you'll see your document checklist on the screen that lists the required documents for your application. The document checklist may look differently depending on whether you're coming alone or bringing family members, if you require medical examination, whether there's a work component to your program, and so on. It's important to note, in addition to the list, you need to add any documents required by the visa office in your country. At the top of your list, you'll find the application for the study permit made outside of Canada, IMM 1294. Click on this form. If you see the please wait message, right-click the link and save it on your computer. You can then open the form using Adobe Acrobat Reader. Let's now talk about the frequently asked questions. What is a UCI? UCI stands for Unique Client Identifier, also known as Client ID. It's an 8-digit or 10-digit number assigned by IRCC that's unique to you. If this is your first time applying for a Canadian immigration document and you do not have a UCI, you can leave this section open or blank. What is a designated learning institution number? A DLI is a unique identifier assigned to Canadian institutions that's been approved to welcome international students. DLI number plays an important role in the study permit application as it's used to verify letters of acceptance and enrollment status of international students once the study permit is issued. You can find SFU's DLI number on the slide as well as on your letter of acceptance. Please note the first letter is the letter O. Provincial attestation letter. What is document number? You can find the provincial attestation number on your PAL letter in 2 places. Top right of your PAL letter above the date it was issued, and on the top left of the PAL letter under the student's name section. The document number should start with BC 25, followed by a hyphen and series of numbers. When entering your PAL document number in the application form, please ensure you enter the number without the hyphens or spaces. The expiry date of your PAL should be December 31st, 2025. Please double check your first and last name as well as your date of birth to ensure it matches your passport. I would also like to note that the PAL does not require your middle name and the address does not need to match the address on your letter of acceptance or study permit application. How do I fill out the duration of expected study? You can find the program start date and expected completion date in your SFU letter of acceptance. Please indicate the start date in the From section. In the To section, indicate the date 90 days after your expected completion date. For example, if your expected completion date is April 30th, 2030, add 90 days and type July 31st, 2030 in the application form. Provided you have a valid passport for the duration of your studies, plus 90 days, the immigration officers should issue you a study permit for the requested duration to give you sufficient time to apply for a study permit extension or post-graduation work permit. How do I fill out the cost of my studies? You're required to show a minimum proof of funds for your first year of tuition and living expense. For tuition, indicate the tuition fee on your letter of acceptance. As of January 1st, 2024, the minimum living cost required in Canada is $20,635 per year for a single applicant. The amount required for additional family members depends on how many dependents you have. Please make sure the funds available for your stay exceed the total amount of your tuition and living expense for the first year, and provide the required proof of fund documents in your application. How do I sign the application form? Upon completing the application form, you must validate the form. The Validate button can be found at the top and the bottom of the form. You must validate the form each time you update information on the form, and you can do this as many times as needed. You do not need to print the form, and you can type your name and date of submission. You then need to save the form on your computer and then upload the form in your IRCC secure account. After uploading all the required documents, you'll be asked to electronically sign your application in the IRCC secure account. After you submit your study permit application online, you should receive the acknowledgement of receipt letter and copy of your receipt from IRCC within 24 hours. Please make sure you save this information accordingly. We also encourage you to monitor your account regularly, where you can check the status of your application. As the IRCC updates processing times regularly, we recommend you check it frequently to stay informed of changes and delays that may affect your application. Typically, you'll receive a biometrics request within 24 hours of submission. Biometrics involves collection of your fingerprints and photo for IRCC to verify your identity. You must submit your biometrics in person at the nearest visa application center within 30 days of receiving the request. If you provided biometrics in the past 10 years or you're a US citizen, you are exempt from providing biometrics. You may contact IRCC if you need to update your contact information, change representatives, change your program start date, request documents to be added to your file, or withdraw your application. While you may ask for study status updates on your application, IRCC typically does not respond to applications well within the standard processing time. It's also important to note that IRCC cannot expedite the processing time based on your program start date, so we strongly recommend you apply for a study permit application well in advance. And with that, we have come to the end of our